This should be the most vibrant time of the year, where neon lights dazzle and hotel lobbies are filled with the sounds of greetings from around the world. But tonight, those lobbies are eerily silent. There are no Japanese tourists eagerly waiting in line, no German couple arguing over a map, and no group of Korean students taking selfies by the famous fountains. Instead, there are only empty rooms, vacant chairs, and a hollowed-out economy. This is the reality of America in 2025. US hotel occupancy has plummeted to just 63.3%, lower than during the 2008 financial crisis. This number reflects an industry that's on the brink of collapse. Revenue per available room, RevPAR, has dropped, and although room prices may inch upward due to inflation, total revenue continues to fall because hotel rooms are sitting empty. Many hotel chains, once confident in their expansion plans, are now cutting staff, postponing projects, and even converting their rooms into long-term apartments just to survive. The once thriving hospitality industry is now a shadow of its former self. It's no longer just a problem for hotels. The ripple effect is spreading across every corner of America, hitting restaurants, taxis, and businesses that rely on tourism. The most pressing question now isn't when we'll recover, it's whether we're still a global destination. In 2025, the US lost over $12.5 billion in direct tourism spending, but the total economic loss is much greater. The ripple effect from the lack of international visitors has led to a staggering $64 billion in losses, equivalent to the GDP of a state like Maine. This isn't just about fewer visitors, it's about the collapse of an entire economy that once thrived on the movement of people. It's not that Americans are traveling less, the world is simply choosing other destinations. Canada offers easier entry, Europe is expanding its visa-free travel policies, and countries in Asia are rolling out hassle-free travel campaigns. Meanwhile, the US continues to impose more bureaucratic hurdles and rising fees, sending a subtle but clear message: don't come unless you really need to. The effects of this change are being felt throughout the country. Empty hotel rooms lead to empty restaurants, fewer taxi rides, and a decline in insurance and conference bookings. Major cities are reeling from the consequences of a rapidly declining tourist economy. In New York, over 120 hotels have been converted into temporary housing for the homeless. In Miami, even four-star hotels are offering station packages cheaper than apartment rentals just to keep their rooms occupied. But an empty hotel room is more than just lost revenue, it's an erosion of trust. It says that America is no longer as attractive as it once was. It signals that the American dream is no longer being dreamt by travelers, both foreign and domestic. And what we're seeing now is just the tip of the iceberg. If the colossal hotel industry is at risk of collapse, imagine what's happening in other sectors of the economy where international guests are essential. The tourism collapse has far-reaching effects that touch every aspect of daily life in America. Las Vegas, once a shining symbol of the American economy, is no longer immune to these shifts. In the summer of 2025, Las Vegas hotel occupancy has dropped to 66.7%. In simpler terms, of every 10 hotels in Vegas, nearly 7 are now dimmed. International tourism to Vegas decreased by 41%, and the average room rate plummeted to $163 per night, its lowest point in over 2 decades. Even the once thriving casino industry is feeling the heat, with revenues falling 15% short of expectations. The reasons behind this decline are numerous. Stricter visa policies, higher costs for international visitors, and reports of travelers being detained at the border have all contributed to the drop in visitors. The once glamorous reputation of the United States as the land of opportunity is being tarnished. Tourists who once spent thousands of dollars at baccarat tables or Michelin-starred restaurants in Vegas are now staying away, seeking easier, more welcoming destinations in Europe, Canada, and Asia. And it's not just Vegas. Hawaii is also feeling the effects. The number of Japanese tourists to the islands has dropped by more than 50% compared to pre-pandemic levels. Airlines have cut over 250 flights between Tokyo and Honolulu. Once bustling family-owned restaurants are now struggling to stay afloat, and long-standing businesses are closing their doors. The tourists that Hawaii once relied on have chosen destinations like Guam, Thailand, or Bali, places with the same beaches but cheaper, easier access, and fewer travel barriers. The collapse of Hawaii's tourism industry is deeply rooted in the shifting landscape of global travel. High visa costs, cumbersome border controls, and the perception of America as a less welcoming destination are all factors driving tourists away. And once tourists start to forget about a place like Hawaii, it's incredibly hard to get them back. New York City, the brain of American tourism, is no stranger to these challenges. In 2025, the city lost 3.1 million international visitors. That's a loss of $4 billion in spending. Luxury hotels that were once fully booked months in advance are now only operating at 40% capacity. High-end restaurants are trimming their menus and cutting staff to survive, while Broadway performances are being reduced as ticket sales decline. This isn't just about lost revenue, it's about the very essence of what made these cities so attractive in the first place. New York was once a beacon for global tourism, drawing millions from around the world. But now, with tourists choosing other destinations, the city is struggling to maintain its vibrancy. The streets that were once teeming with people are now eerily quiet, and the businesses that once thrived on international tourism are now barely hanging on. The effects of this collapse extend beyond the tourism industry. As tourism jobs disappear, local economies are shrinking. The ripple effect is being felt across cities, from hotel workers to restaurant staff to taxi drivers. Families that once relied on tips to pay their bills are now facing a much harsher reality. Small businesses are closing down, and communities that were built around the tourism economy are now facing an uncertain future. The collapse of the tourism industry is a reminder of how fragile economies built on international travel can be. The US is erecting barriers for tourists while the rest of the world is making travel easier and more accessible. The world is slowly losing interest in America, and the implications for the US economy could be catastrophic if this trend continues. And the consequences aren't just economic. When people lose faith in a destination, it takes a long time to rebuild that trust. The empty hotel rooms, the deserted streets, and the shuttered businesses are a sign that the American dream is no longer as appealing as it once was. The issue is not just about lost revenue, it's about whether the US can adapt to the changing global landscape. If even the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, is struggling, what does that say about the future of smaller cities that rely heavily on international tourism? The sad truth is that America's once dominant position in global tourism is in decline. The US is no longer the first choice for international travelers. And unless significant changes are made to reverse this trend, the tourism economy may never recover. This isn't just an economic crisis, it's a cultural one. America's place in the world is being challenged, and the consequences will be felt by everyday people. The loss of international visitors is not just a financial blow, it's a reminder that the world no longer sees America as the global destination it once was.